Hello everyone and welcome back to a Legionary's Life, where I, will be starting up the actual walkthrough part of the game, or at least the really important part. I've gotten a couple of runs under my belt and explored the various options, etc. And I've basically come to what are going to be 2 play runs of this game. One high virtue one and one low virtue run. And how I think you want to go about it if you want to get the best outcome, at least. When you start the game, you have the ability to influence these here stats, and the most important stats to get high here, I think, are charisma, awareness, intellect, and quickness, with awareness and quickness being the absolute most important ones to get very, very high. The reason for that is that there are in the game a certain number of checks that you absolutely want to pass in order to see all the best outcomes, and you want to have awareness and quickness to be as high as possible in order to pass those checks. The rest are also important, but slightly less so. So I will try to keep rolling for a bit to get both quickness and awareness at least very high. They're not my only conditions, but my most important ones at the very least. So I'll see about that, and I'll come back to it once I'm satisfied with the setup here. Alright, I think this is a pretty decent setup. These are average, this is slightly below average. Quickness and coordination are relatively high, and then charisma, awareness are also pretty decent, and intellect is mediocre. Let's just go for name. That's pretty unoriginal, but I don't care. Okay, so as for the character enhancement screen, like I said, I think awareness and quickness are the most important, which is why I want to have both at least at 70. Let's just see how much it costs to get them both to 75. I guess too much. Alright, let's keep them at 70 then, because getting that to 2000 is a tad too much, and even though quickness can still be trained, and I will likely try to do that, these really need to be as high as possible, and I think even 70 is not enough, and I really want to get that even higher. Alright, let's get this to 57. That's actually pretty low. But I guess not the worst. So I don't really have need for a charisma higher than 70, I think. I would rather increase that intellect for a bit then. As for the weapons, I do want to get at least this one, and I guess the light Celtic helmet will do. We'll spend the rest on cash. Alright, and like I said, it's very important that your quickness and awareness are as high as possible. I guess I could have gotten at least awareness a little bit higher, but I'm marginally happy with this. So let's skip this first. And alright, here we go. We get to start. I'm just gonna do this here quickly. Guess the best approach. Let's go for nonchalant and confident. And pass some checks, increasing the opinion of the Centurion. At the beginning, I really want to spend only on those, I guess. Really? Talking about getting unlucky, even with 34 sword. I will try to get that quickness at least up to 75 before I believe part 3 is going to be the critical point. Either way, we do get to go into our first battle here after all of this text. If you want to read that, you can do that in the first few episodes of this game, because that's where I'll be going over all of the text. And this is more or less just indeed about what I think might be your best approach. Oh, this guy has a helmet. Huh. That's the first time I've ever seen a militiaman with a helmet. But okay. Let's hit him in the groin then. So with militiamen, the thing that I want to do is I'd rather go for damage. Okay, that's not turning out so well for me. Is trying to go for damage over going for lowering their stance, because lowering their stance takes too long, and the benefits that you get from lowering their stance are way too little. Of course, you still have to be lucky here in your attacks and the damage that you do, etc. But I think it pays off more to just keep going for damage when you're attacking militiamen, and not to worry about their stance too much. The chance of dealing damage is high enough anyway. And that probably doesn't work so well if your character is somewhat weaker, or you haven't gotten so many. I don't even know why I did that. If you don't have that many runs under your belt, but if you do, then you're better off just going for damage with these militiamen. Alright, kill 2, so not bad. As for the next part, I would have shown this off, but I guess we failed the check. Yeah, that happens, but I can still show it off in the next playthrough when I'm doing a low morale run. So I've basically passed this check like the last 6 playthroughs back to back. But of course, when the camera is rolling, you don't, obviously. Okay, oh well. Just gonna go for the next fight then, which is with another militiaman. That's too bad, but it really shows you that, again, even with back-to-back, yeah, quite a couple of runs under my belt. Why am I doing so poor against this guy? Yeah, as I... Unbelievable. As I wanted to say, even after all these times, randomness is still a major factor in the battles. Like, look at this. This is just pathetic. But, yeah, so that's something that you do have to keep in mind. Like, this game is, wow, unbelievable. Okay. This game is extremely RNG heavy, and with extremely, I mean extremely. And if you can't handle that, then this game is definitely not for you, because you are going to be pissed, absolutely pissed at that point. So pity gives you virtue, which is what I want. Just like with that roll just now that I had, or the check that I failed after passing it every single time. You know, it's still random. Even if it was a 90% chance of me passing it, you're gonna fail it at some point, and that's just, yeah, you don't want to worry too much about that, really. All right, Garrison Mercenaries. I've seen these guys before. We've dealt with them before, and it wasn't very nice. We'll see what we can do. This time, the likelihood of me being able to even deal any damage are quite low, but you never know. Might just as well do Respite, because Feint is useless here. And if they hit me while I'm in the back, it also doesn't really help me to be in the back. Yeah, and I'm... in this battle, I'm extremely dependent on whether this guy will recover immediately or not. And I don't know what his odds are, but mine aren't good. Again, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, my purpose here is damage control, but it would still be nice if I actually got at least this guy maybe... Alright, this is high risk, but no, failed. Oh well, never mind. Yeah, right. Sure. Even after all these attempts, I can still die here. Like this, it's if they keep hitting me, and there's nothing I can do because they don't miss, I'm basically screwed. Alright, let's just hit him in the leg. And this time I can go for groin. It's a bit better. Of course, you need to hit. Alright, come on. I need some new shoes. Okay, groin is still good. I need to get him over half. Okay, good, good. That's all I cared about. Let's try to keep him on recover. Alright. So that's the first part. And let's hope we do get promoted. Yes, we did. Alright, that was the first part. Gonna continue to the second part. Let's first of all just offer sacrifice again. Just to get that morale up to high. I still want to get my running to 75. And alright, this is the complex maneuver one. So if we pass this complex maneuver, we will get a nice benefit later on. It involves wheeling to the left, or rotation to the right, advance as a column, then wheeling to the left once more to form a battle line. Half the time you're asked to do the opposite. Let's be assertive. Pass the check. It takes long effort, but as they progressive, the maneuver gets smoother and smoother. Opinions turn has increased by 5, and our intellect has increased. Nice. That's really good. Yeah, I'm still gonna try to get that quickness up. And that sounds very lame, but yeah, 75 might be enough. And I can't increase my awareness. How are we on sword and shields? Only moderate chance. Speaking ill of the Centurion, just letting him be gives you virtue. Reporting him lowers opinion troop, I believe, and higher Centurion. I'm just gonna go for virtue. Man. Not having a lot of luck on those workouts, although I should be very close to having a good chance indeed. Alright, the next part of this game is relatively uneventful. It's not really that much going on except for one battle. In this battle, you have the choice of charging the enemy camp immediately. Well, I mean, the game chooses this for you. You charge the camp immediately, or you wait for the cavalry attack, and there's not much difference in between the two. Wow. Alright. Against the Gallic Mercenary, having these shield options, they can be pretty decent, but only after you've knocked them down. Come on. It's unbelievable. Like I said, if you can't handle the RNG in this game, then you don't want to play it if you can't handle RNG, because it's going crazy. Okay, I will respite or recover the moment he's dead. Not good enough for a shield charge. And if something... if stuff like this happens, like... what is this chance? It's like 75? And you failed 3 to 4 times. Yeah, the opportunity is lost, really. Like, I'm not... It's unbelievable. Well, that was a pathetic run. Let's just hope that I'll be lucky in the next part. It doesn't really matter that much here. Alright, so we can split up search some of the tents, which only gives us some cash, or stay with a large group. While searching, your squad bumps into a small group of men and women. There are a dozen or so, some rather young. They look and sound like Celtiberians, probably slaves captured by the Carthaginians during their recent campaigns. They must have been left behind when the enemy retreated. You must be careful, for they've even managed to find weapons. The tension rises partly because of language difficulties, partly because they're afraid of being made prisoners again. Many of them are holding their weapons awkwardly. Should it come to violence, there's only one way this is going to end. You're the highest ranking legionary present. Attacking them or letting things run their course is probably not good, because they already said if you do this, they're probably going to attack. If we attack them, it's probably going to be a slaughter. So let's try to quiet things down. Pass the charisma check. You have little difficulty in keeping your men in check. Opinion troop increased. Virtue has increased. There's a little more we can accomplish here. And we've already seen this plenty of times. The rest of this is not very interesting. Next part is going to be extremely important that we pass the checks. What I want to do is I actually want to take off the helmet from my inventory. Why? Having it on me gives me... Oh, I need to go to character. Gives me a awareness penalty. And I want that awareness to be as high as possible for the upcoming event. So that's going to be especially important. I'm even going to run again. But I'm increasing endurance only, unfortunately. Oh. Come on. Maybe... Okay, I can technically still increase it. Good, good. And this seems really silly. Oh, okay. Progress is slowing down. Let's just not do that anymore then. We're pretty high already. So let's go for regular training. Troops like me plenty, I think. And now Sealed and Short are pretty equal. So I'm just going to keep it at this. Well liked, have a good chance of success. Okay. And you really just want to do those 3 times. Okay. This event, we wake up in the middle of the night and there's a thief. If we call for help, that is okay. Pass the quickness check. Take him by surprise, grab hold of it. Noise wakes up your comrades and he's soon pinned down. He's a soldier from another maniple. Recover your money and hand him over to the guards. Morale increased by 2. That wasn't a lot better than if you just call for help. He isn't hard to find. When you inquire about his price, he plans that he only works on commission and requires 125 denarii. Let's see a few samples. Promptly produces a sword from under the counter. After giving it a quick polish, he invites you to inspect it. Quality is average, but seems to be well crafted. Let's order one. The interesting thing is that you can also get, I believe it's an awareness check, but I've seen it only on random, like randomly happening. And what it does, it actually tells you that you realize that this guy is not who he says he is, and he's actually not a swordsmith, but they suggest that he is a thief selling these swords, or something of the sort. So, and then you actually, again here, the balance is above average and well worth the price. I've actually seen that be worse. So it could also be that the balance is just nothing interesting, and then they claim that it wasn't really worth to pay 125 for such a mediocre sword. It's actually more random than you would have it seem, because I've seen those different odds. So you could have a mediocre sword paying too much, or in this case you can get lucky and get a better sword. Also, there is this check, this random check of I believe it was awareness or intelligence, where you can find out that he is actually not a swordsmith. Either way, we did get a nice sword, so this one is better than the one I have already because its handiness is a bit better, which is nice. So I'll wield this and sell my other sword. Let's just look at the wares for a bit too. Ah, come on. Okay. You can actually get some pretty decent equipment in these events. Yeah, this little girl who can actually talk in your language. She explains that the village is willing to cooperate, but there's only so much they can do. The best option you can do here is discuss, pass the charisma check, and then also pass the virtue check. Then you get higher morale, and we also get some stuff. Of course, the ambush risk is not 4%. It really isn't. I've had so many ambushes, it seems almost close to 20%. Okay, as we approach the village, a hill of stones greet you. Many peasants are gathered straight ahead, makeshift ready, weapons at the ready. Let's try to capture, avoiding bloodshed. You instruct your men to avoid using the weapons to kill unless strictly necessary. When all is ready, you try to slowly entice the villagers out of their position, bring them where you can surround them. Pass the check, your tactics work like a charm. By the time the peasants realize what's happening, you have them surrounded. The few remaining out of your trap have no choice but to surrender. The clash is won without a single casualty. You leave the village with a load of supplies. The virtue increase again, proconsul increased as well. That's not bad. You do pass a lot more of these checks if you have high stats, of course. So you're much more likely to get good outcomes out of these. Okay, let's take a look. I actually think this is fairly useless, but let's go for a bit more training. Alright, the critical moment of the game is there, or most, or at the very least the first critical moment of the game is there. Let's just pray to the gods that they will favor me and skip this part. Alright, we're in the Celtiberian and Carthaginian camps, and we're gonna have to scout. We have a forced march. Yeah, that's fine. We are not only pulling our own weight, but also constant source of encouragement. Opinion +4 for troop and centurion. Now we're going to have to scout for a bit, and we've seen this before. It's the one where we have to find a better spot, because we're not really seeing much, and we have to take a risk or settle for a mediocre observation point. We should take the risk. Hard pounding, you try to move quickly and silently as possible. We make it safely to the other side. And awareness check. Carefully commit to memory every detail about the weak links in the defense of the Celtiberian camp, as well as the best approach path. Judging by the number of tents and what you see, there are less than 10,000 men here. No more than half are Scutari, heavy infantrymen. And then these guys like you a lot more. This is where things become very important. Or this is the critical part. When you're satisfied, you signal the others that you can go back. You come about 1 mile from the camps, gentle breezes stirring the vegetation all around you. Pass the awareness check. And this is the critical awareness check that I was talking about. And it's kind of sad, really, in a way, because, like, you're in, whether you get this or not, or whether you get a high score or not, I guess, it's just this one single check that's so extremely important. Anyway, besides that awareness check, there's still more that we have to do. We have to explain what we've heard, discuss what you should do, tell them to follow you and run in direction of the sound. There's no time to lose or ignore the whole thing. We have to go as fast as possible. You sprint towards the sound as fast as you can, pass the quickness check. And this is why I've been training that quickness all this time and raising that awareness as well. Trying to get both to as high as possible, because you want to pass these 2 checks. Your companions fail to keep up with you. A little later, you reach the edge of a clearing. Inside, you see 3 men armed with curved swords around a fellow legionary who's desperately fighting for his life. 3 bodies are on the ground. We can run immediately to his aid or wait for your companions before you make a move. We have to go immediately to his aid. Without hesitation, you lunge into the fray. Virtue has increased by 10. So now we're in a battle with 3 Castratus. We have to win this battle by ourselves and keep the Legionary alive. So a combination of those three. This one is hurt. This one is hurt. I have the highest chance of throwing the javelin at him and still miss. That's unfortunate. Either way, yeah, we're gonna have to do battle. Again, I think going for damage here is probably your best approach. I'm gonna try to hit him in the groin, and of course we can still get unlucky and get this outcome here. We have to recover. I hope mostly they'll focus on me and not on the Legionary, because I'm more powerful and the Legionary needs to survive. Obviously I need to survive as well, but yeah, I'm much more agile, etc. Yeah, please try to hit me. Okay, that's fine. If we can kill the first one, then we're already much better off. Things would be a lot easier. Ah, perfect. Yeah, he's really pulling his weight. That's excellent. Alright, we're much more in the clear now. Feeling a bit more safe. Oh, wow. Now, I've seen him perform very poorly. Actually, during one of the runs that I had before off screen once, which was really nasty, is I started this battle. The enemy castratus all three got their first attack. They all ganged on the Legionary, and the Legionary died before I could even do anything, because I skipped my round and then they killed him without me being able to even do anything, do as much as throw my sword at them. Like, they just ganged on him, killed him, and that was that. And I failed to this part anyway, because that was terrible. I should not have gone for groin. I messed that up. But I will definitely go for torso. Okay. Pretty much guaranteed a victory now. Because now that he's in recovery mode, I can just go for stance. Or attack him on stance instead of health. Basically putting him in near permanent recovery mode. No matter how long this takes. While my compatriot tries to attack him. It's not going very well. But that's fine. See? Come on. Alright, let's recover before we try again. Alright, perfect. He's dead. You wonder where in Tartarus Calvisius and Eorbelis are. You wonder where in Tartarus Calvisius and Eorbelis are. The Legionary is deeply grateful for your timely intervention. You learn that his name is Titius Octavius. He tells you he and his companions were ambushed on the way back. They were able to kill one of the Catrari, but now he is the only survivor. If you do anything except for immediately run towards him and dash to his rescue, he will die. He's just dead. That's the only way to save him. So you need to pass the awareness check to get the event chain. Then you need to sprint towards him all the time. Pass the quickness check, which is very hard. And then still choose to immediately come to his aid instead of waiting. He promises he will testify about what happened as soon as you get back to the Legion. You fully deserve a civic crown for saving his life. And then all of these increase by a lot. You're about to help him hide the bodies when finally your two companions appear. Calvisius is conspicuously limping and leaning against Eorbelis' shoulder. The Veil has twisted his ankle trying to run after you. You hastily conceal the corpses, doing your best to memorize their location so that they can be buried after the forthcoming battle. Once you've finished, you leave. After a while, you reach the valley where the bulk of your army is hidden and report what you have learned. Everything is ready now. It's time to approach the enemy camp and get prepared for the onslaught. We get 2 cups because we killed 2 out of 3, and we get the valued civic crown, which I wanted to show off. You're rewarded for saving the life of a Roman citizen in battle, killing the enemy and holding the ground afterwards. That is the way to get that civic crown. Yeah, and I'm actually extremely pleased that I got it there. That is not easy to get, and that's the sole reason why I've been building that quickness up to madness. And I wanted high awareness as well because of that. But I did pass them. I got the highest chance to get them, and I did. That's what's important here. So let's continue. The rest of this is relatively uninteresting. You know, we're gonna go fight some dudes. A pretty low chance of hitting with the javelin. Shield charge is also not bad, but like I said, you can be busy for years trying to get that that stance down if you're not like unbelievable. Like this is useless. I haven't been able to accomplish anything for 12 turns. Because of the rolls. It's just crazy. Well, let's try neck. Nope. Oh well. Never mind. We might just as well respite in the back. Now, I don't think I've ever seen such a poor performance in my life. Right after doing going for the civic crown as well. That's wow. Alright, let's try a charge. Of course, that. Alright, let's try another one. Come on. Daddy needs to eat tonight, and this is the only way to do it. No. You're not feeling like it, okay? It's like, well, you got that civic crown, it's enough. It surely is. Let's try a shield charge. Nope. Nah, it's not meant to be. Definitely not. Oh well. Like, we're already gonna shift. Alright, let's charge him up. Nope. Never mind. Head might do it. No. Ah well. Alright, I think that's it for this part. And we've been promoted to Opjo because we saved that guy. That's nice. Alright, let's continue then. Let's work on those javelin skills, which have been terrible. And if you have high virtue, I think, and or have high stats in general, I haven't seen these when my character had lower stats, but if you have higher stats and or high virtue, you get all these random checks while you're in camp. And Or, yeah, maybe these checks were there as well before, but maybe they weren't. But for some reason, you start getting these checks like, yeah, opinion troops increase, centurion increase. It's just because supposedly you're very easy at leading these troops or something. It's just, I don't know. It's all a bit unclear. Marcus Alphenus is a lazy and undisciplined soldier. The careless, neglectful way in which he performs his duties have already caused troubles in the past, but his family ties with the centurion make sure he always gets away with it. There are 3 options. 1, confront the centurion in public. 2 in private, or 3, let it go. Let's confront him in public. It certainly takes courage to challenge your direct supervisor in front of the troop. Virtue is increased by 5. Pass the charisma check. He's taken aback by your strong personality and you quickly get the upper hand. To save face, he has to agree that something must be done. Because of his misconduct, Alphenus is put on barley rations for 3 days. Your opinion troop has increased by 5. Great. And I also need to do some javelin. Throwing. How much money do we have? 503. I will re-put on the helmet. And I think I can look for some greaves. Sure. Alright, let's move on. And think there's oh yeah, your cavalry has been slow taking ground thanks to your support. As yet another charge brings chaos to both sides, you see the median cavalrymen break through and approach you from the rear. The horsemen are considered among the best in the world. They're key to many of Hannibal's victories in the early years of the war, and all your compatriots who have met them in the battlefield have learned to respect them. As an Optio, we have the ability to make the last line of the battle turn around and form a shield wall, or we can face them ourselves, which we're gonna do. The roar rises from your men as you, their Optio, step forward to face the Numidian alone. You don't think the Centurion will be as enthusiastic when he learns about this. Let's throw the spear. Weapon, defense, initiative check, pass. For all his skill, he's still a light cavalryman. He can't charge headlong at you. You stand fast and leave no opening, then attempt to counter-strike with your improvised spear. Fail weapon check. Okay. I don't know whether I showed this off before. You can kill him if you pass this weapon check. Then he dies and you get a cup and better rewards. But we didn't. He's good. He averts your attack with shield and rides past, controlling a circle with just his legs. He acknowledges your boldness with the notion of his head and pulls away. You stare at him for a moment, then run back to the safety of your maniple. Okay, well. Yeah, then we're gonna go to a battle. And back and forth, we're being marched. We failed the intelligence check, even though we have very high intelligence, but okay. We're quite sure we're facing the enemy light infantry now, rather than the early troops. There will be no turning back. Scipio commands himself, takes command of your wing, you wheel to the right and to the left. Your 3 lines have become columns. You flawlessly execute a complex maneuver. The endless drills are bearing fruit. This is the event that we had earlier, in which we actually do that or exercise that drill. So we don't get the negative penalty from that. And now we're gonna battle. I think, unless we get the elephant that rushes in towards us, because one of them has lost a rider and is rushing in our direction. We can maintain discipline or attack the elephant with our javelin. If we attack and pass the check, we get some very good benefits, or, well, reasonable benefits, but I think maintaining discipline is probably easier. Charisma check. You have the situation in hand, and the men around you prepared to repel the dreadful beast. Opinion centurion increased by 2. With the relief you rarely felt in your life, you realize the elephant is steering clear of your line. When it's gone, you focus on the task at hand. And we're gonna do battle here. Great. Alright, the troop is sliding into disarray, but you managed to keep it in line. I don't specifically know why that happens, but I'm not one to complain. Great. So happy we missed that. Either way, let's go after the Catratus. Let's go for a shield charge. Great. And now a knock to get him all the way down. And now we're gonna go for the neck. These guys are a lot easier now that we've trained so much. And again, these charges have a very high chance of passing now. Doing pretty well. We often get double turns. Still gonna go for the neck. Now we're doing a lot of damage as well. I'm gonna keep this up pretty much. Oh wow. Let's try one again. Okay. Really? It's like an 80 to 90% according to the game, but sure. Let's go for the groin then. I want to recover only when he's dead. Torso should have been fine. Come on. Really? Please. Nope. It's not gonna happen. Oof. Alright. I am gonna say that I'm really lucky or happy that I killed that guy at least. Alright. Another battle with a couple of these guys. It's pretty much the same. Although I'm a bit more tired now. So, less chance of hitting the enemy. The knock will do. Alright, well, since this is the last guy, I'm gonna go all out, really trying to get rid of him still. Or come on. Kill him. No. At least we wounded him. It's better than nothing. I think we did okay there against the Castratus. We've weakened them enough. And he managed to escape. Disheartened Carthaginians, go away. We are shepherding the men on the way back. The visibility is very poor, to put it mildly, and the mud is not helping. For a moment, it seems a couple of your legionaries are going astray. Let's bring them back before they get lost. Pass the awareness check. You abruptly grab the two soldiers and drag them back to the slowly moving maniple. At first, they're about to complain, but they're careful to keep their mouth shut as soon as they recognize you. Your opinion troop has increased by 3. You make it back at last. You need all the rest you can get. If you fail that check, you actually get lost yourself and you get into a battle with an enemy soldier. Or you can choose to fight that soldier. This is pretty interesting if you so happen to get that. But if you pass the check, that doesn't happen. Alright, so this is just the regular story again that we've already seen in my previous playthroughs. We get a silver Armilla for outstanding battle prowess. We would be promoted, but we can't. So now is the rest of the story. We enlist, of course, and the council increases, or that. And the opinion of Centurion increased by 48, and now we're Centurio Posterior. I'm at the start of this part. So we're in charge of the left-hand sentry and second in command of your maniple behind the Centurio Prior. Right, I'm going to end the first part here. I'm going to wrap this game up, of course, in the second part. I want to thank you all for watching this one, and yeah, I'll see you all next time. So take care, and bye-bye. Wow. So I want to thank you for watching, and see you all next time. Bye-bye. Take care.